one dance, for example, and add a couple of steps to it, modify it, or dance it under the tune of like Let's Dance Together or whatever by some random J.U. song, is it really within your right to do that? Is it really within your right of expression to do that? We say, no, you have the right to expression. You can dance whatever kind of dance you want, but there's a limit somewhere, ladies and gentlemen, and this is where we draw the line. In the same vein, you can't just fight for individual rights and say, for example, look, I think it's my individual right of expression to take Lupang Hinirang and rap it because I want to, and it's exclusivist of you to say you can't do that. You can
Hear, hear.
We think, ladies and gentlemen, that lines are drawn very clearly, and they're not necessarily interpreting the value that we're talking about here. We see, ladies and gentlemen, that we necessarily have to evaluate exactly how is these kinds of expressions affecting other types of values that we protect in society, ladies and gentlemen. Because this debate isn't about do people have the right to express and modify certain forms of expression intrinsic to certain people. To some extent, we can argue you do have a right to expression. But when the valuation or when that particular expression or adaptation of it affects certain values, we say, no, we regret that. And we'd rather not have that kind of avenue in society. Sit down with both of you. They have these arguments, ladies and gentlemen, wherein they say it can actually facilitate preservation, ladies and gentlemen, when you introduce this kind of ethnic values, ladies and gentlemen, and expressions, and introduce it to mainstream society. People become more open to it. They even develop an affinity to the identity behind the culture. How is that likely, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, they didn't even argue that, how that actually gets facilitated in such a way. Because what's more likely, sit down, is when you're watching Showtime, sadly enough, you're watching Showtime, and you're looking at a girl wearing a skimpy version of a Maguindanao costume, ladies and gentlemen, with feathers somewhere, dancing like a hybrid of Singkil and what's the other Tinikling, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think there's an affinity developed to that identity behind it, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm sure that it's valid for you to argue that people have the right to information and the people are capable of educating themselves. But the problem of mainstreaming as an avenue, ladies and gentlemen, is that you don't push them to do that. You don't incentivize them to do that, ladies and gentlemen. There's no requirement whatsoever to appreciate it in the proper context, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what we're sad about. Ladies and gentlemen, when we say that, obviously, it pushes back the movement for cultural preservation. But more importantly, it destroys the very value of identity in society in itself, ladies and gentlemen. We have a state that for so many years, ladies and gentlemen, makes all sorts of efforts, like legislation, for example, or like tri-people conventions, ladies and gentlemen, to preserve to carve a place in society for these kinds of people. We have customary laws, for example, and we have schools that are specific to the kind of customs that we have and towards the preservation of that. But at the same time, you also have that society allowing, these warped and skewed expressions of those very cultures in mainstream society. We think that at the end of the day, these two cannot go together, ladies and gentlemen. We say, when you talk about the value of society in general, ladies and gentlemen, I mean the value of identity in society in general, ladies and gentlemen, you have to compare these stances in themselves. What are the goals, ladies and gentlemen, of these stances? What are the values of the expressions of these stances versus expressions in mainstream society, ladies and gentlemen? When you express it in mainstream, largely it's for the sake of entertainment. In expression for the sake of expression, you dance because you want to, you sing because you want to, for no other reason but because it's entertaining, ladies and gentlemen. And that expression, when you put it there, is reduced to just that. It's just the dance. It's just a song, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I don't know, like when we're in NDC Baguio, for example, and we have these Igorots dancing in front of us, right? Like, everything that the people consider like the butts dancing, things like that. We're educated people, we are capable of being culturally relative, but because you removed it from like the proper context, it's not at all a did not develop an affinity at all. I didn't understand what the dance was all about because of all the butts. Because in the mainstream society, ladies and gentlemen, that kind of nudity only connotes sexuality, period. But when you place it in the proper context, there's no sexuality whatsoever. It's placed in the proper context. But yes, one point.
Ma'am, the problem is you're just interpreting this debate based on your narrow-minded affinity towards it. The problem about that is that if it's mainstream, it allows for various interpretation of that. And that's where the real appreciation is, because people can tap into it, can opt into that identity because they have a different level of affinity to it.
You're showing that these expressions are subject to interpretation. What we're telling you is it's not, ladies and gentlemen. They have to be preserved in their purest forms, and they actually have to be done in the proper context, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't to say that only Igrots can dance Igrot dances. What we're saying is that it must always be placed in the proper context. Like say for example, like if you want to be a cultural dancer, join the Bayanihan dance troupe that makes, you know, researches into the accuracy of the costume, for example, and they you know, the goal of that particular dance, for example, if it's courting, if it's war dance, for example, or if it's a solemn, you know, respect for one who has passed away, for example, there's no space to laugh or be entertained for this particular expression, for example. We say that at the end of the day, it's very dangerous when you let that particular expression cross the divide and go to the mainstream, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you necessarily devalue the idea of an identity, ladies and gentlemen. Like when a Maranao person looks at a dance, a very loose interpretation of their dance, and the Maranao says, I'm offended, you say, dude, it's just dancing. Get over it. It's not like that, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot, you know, just nullify the value of it that way. It must always be preserved. It must always be done in the proper context, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, no further.